Hi guys, welcome back to Xcom Enemy Within. See, just loading it up here. Here we go. Butker, by the way, is pivotal to those 3 Super Bowls. Those seasons were some of the best in Kansas City history, leading up to and including. God bless him, and he is great.
Yes. So much more to come, including this. Things got really heated on the House floor yesterday. It almost looked like an episode of Jerry Springer. Not a house in some random town, the U.S. Congressional House. That wild video is next. Veteran homeowners checked credit card rates lately. Many are over 22%, near 30% if you pay late. Why not do what thousands of veteran families have done? Call New Day and pay off that high-rate debt with the low-rate VA100 VA cash-out loan. It lets you pay off your credit cards and car loans with one easy monthly payment. Get the cash you need and the peace of mind you deserve.
Call 1-800-397-9341.
I struggled with generalized myasthenia gravis, but the picture started changing when I started on VivGuard.
VivGuard is for adults with generalized myasthenia gravis or anti-AChR antibody positive. In a clinical trial, VivGuard significantly improved most participants' ability to do daily activities when added to their current GMG treatment. Most participants taking VivGuard also had less muscle weakness.
And your VivGuard treatment schedule is designed just for you.
In a clinical study, the most common side effects included urinary and respiratory tract infections and headache. VivGuard may increase the risk of infection. Tell your doctor if you have a history of infections or symptoms of an infection. VivGuard can cause allergic reactions. Available is VivGuard for IV infusion and also as VivGuard Hytrulo for subcutaneous injection. Additional side effects for VivGuard Hytrulo may include injection site reactions. Talk to your neurologist about VivGuard.
Looks good.
It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people are deciding it's time to quit the kibble and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog. Made by vets and delivered right to your door, precisely portioned for your dog's needs. It's an idea whose time has come. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements are convenient and easy to add to any schedule. Paired with eating more fresh produce, regular exercise, and a positive mindset, Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements can help you keep your rhythm. Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Call or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FOXNEWS.
Saturday, a new loan for higher education. How student protests are impacting campuses across America. Noah Tishby, Emmanuel Acho, and John Lovitz react on One Nation.
The American Society of Magical Negroes. It's easier if I say is a secret society tasked with making the world a more peaceful place.
What's the most dangerous animal on the planet? White people. Because the happier they are, the safer we are.
Wow, that is troubling.
From their beautiful food, will change everything.
It's always my job to make white people feel comfortable.
It shouldn't be. The American Society of Magical Negroes. Watch everyone now.
Every penny I was making was spent on lunch. When I found out about what the United Nations did, I was sitting inside the hospital. I was home, talking with someone saying, I don't lose it. I'm not, I might as well be dead. 14 years for me. I thought that would be possible. I'm way backwards.
wasn't happy here. A hearing at the House of Representatives turned into an episode of reality television yesterday. Just watch as Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC, the notorious AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, got into this fiery exchange.
Nice shot.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here for
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order. That's going to be even order of your committee. Order. Please. There's a point of order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like us to move to take down the Supreme Court. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you express a physical appearance of another person? Are your feelings hurt? Words down. Oh, girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Don't even play, baby girl. We are gonna move, and we're gonna take your words down.
I second that motion.
Absolutely. Not today. Yeah. Not today.
You ready to start your words?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Green agrees to start your words.
I believe she was apologizing. No. I'm not apologizing. Well, then, I am not apologizing.
Well, let's stop. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
I tell you, as a woman who wears fake eyelashes every day, I just love them. All I was missing was a snack to go with that girl, baby girl. Anyway, some lawmakers think alcohol may have been involved.
I didn't see the drinking, but the gentlelady from New Mexico, Melanie Stansbury, raised it. She said there are members drinking in the room, and that's something that is worth investigating if there was in fact drinking taking place.
Okay, I roll at this report. Are you kidding me right now? Where are the adults in the room? They're not adulting. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman summed it up this way. In the past, I've described the U.S. House as the Jerry Springer Show. Today, I'm apologizing to the Jerry Springer Show. He's entertaining, that guy.
Yeah. I don't know if I live in Marjorie's district or Loudon's district. I'm right on the edge. So I've said for a while that I live in her district. I think I do. I guess I'll find out on election day. But all my family does. And so that's where I'm from. I'm from Dalton, Georgia, and she represents the northeast corner of Georgia. But I will tell you this, in a town of 40,000 people, 3,500 decided our mayor. So I don't know that we really come out and vote the way we should. I don't know if she represents us the best, but where are we going with this? It's not about class and being fake. It's about being effective. And if Kevin McCarthy did anything in his tenure, he got her to pretend to be a serious legislature for a little while. And I appreciate that. I really do. She could be very effective. Her and Matt Gaetz can raise more money, or could a year or two ago, with a tweet or a post on X than anyone in the House. But if this is what you're known for, people are going to get tired of that.
Wow, Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just watched The Jersey Shore, which I've never watched, but I can imagine. I feel like I watched Desperate Housewives, which I've never watched, but I can imagine. But no, that was the United States Congress. And they're screaming about fake eyelashes. You don't have intelligence. At one point, one of the congresswomen says, bleach, blonde, bad, built, butch body. What is
Whoa.
That was actually the most entertaining moment. The chairman didn't know what to say to that.
I don't know what to say. I mean, they were like a moment away from throwing punches. You know, how does this serve the purpose of the committee, which was to hold in contempt Merrick Garland? How does it serve the country? It doesn't.
She nailed him.
I have to ask, would this have happened without cameras in the room? I don't think so. Cameras are the reason this happened. So the media is the reason this happened. The congressman at least posted part of this on X afterwards. What a disgrace. Be better.
Yeah, well, and we'll be, hanging on the words of did alcohol play a role. It is interesting, though, Lisa, when you talk about getting things done. I agree with Kaylee. We see so much of it, and what we see is dysfunction. Although this was in 2 committees yesterday, the contempt against Garland. It easily went through the Judiciary Committee. It did this.
Shit.
Well, I will say that the House is a reflection of society, and society is messy right now. So I think that's what we're seeing play out in the committee. And you have 435 people from all different walks of life, all different parts of the country. And so we're seeing that play out. I will also submit for the record, we've seen paintings in past history in Congress. We've also had a member of Congress in the 25th Congress died from a gunshot wound. From another
you were closer to global.
It's been worse, it's been worse. We'll say that. I will also say, I read Comer's opening remarks for the oversight for the contempt of Congress, and he had pointed out.
Oh no, I forgot about him, son of a bitch!
Before the discovery of the classified documents, sent a former Biden employee to the Penn Biden Center to retrieve documents, and the White House is denying the committee's request to try to look into that and to depose the White House counsel. So, you know, it is sort of distracting from this broader picture that now we have an attorney general who says no one's above the law, who is acting like he's above the law, and a president who is acting like he's above the law. So,
We need you on Capitol Hill. That was an important
I'll shake hands, I'll kiss babies, you know, we'll do the whole thing.
Yeah, and you're brilliant.
For Capitol Hill.
Emily.
We're too good for Capitol Hill. That's the thing, you know, this is supposed to be the most noble, the most sacred, or among
He's dead.
serving and representing the people. If I want to see someone cussing out someone else, I walk outside my door. I live in New York City. I'm from the Bay. Why shouldn't it be that the highest standard, the highest decorum exists in this most sacred building that they claim that was breached on January 6th in the most horrific and atrocious of crimes? Well, then represent the sacred and the sanctity that that building deserves. Honor that. I see this as a reflection of the complete erosion that our entire legislative body has become. You can wear what you want. You can say what you want. You can trash each other. You can drink. You can have sex on the dais. You can bring coke into this entire thing has become an absolute devolved zoo, heightened under this administration that promised us on the way in there would be unity and a return to adulting. I am deeply disappointed. I want my money back every day. They do not earn my salary. They have not earned my respect. And displays like that, they're not even worth my time.
Yeah, it's adulting, all right, but like the X-rated kind. Now, all right, I want to get this in. You're not going to believe this. Speaking of X, but in a different way. The platform. So Senator Fetterman and Congresswoman AOC are having a very public spat. AOC, you got it on. It's on the screen. Just accusing Fetterman of making misogyny and racism a both sides issue. I understood you would not have stood up for your colleague and seem to be confused about racism and misogyny being a both sides issue. But I stand up to bullies instead of becoming one. I mean, so they're already going back and forth, in addition to what he said about her comments in this oversight. What's going on?
No, I worked on the Hill, like Lisa, for just long enough to get the heck out of there. And it wasn't like this, and that was just 10 years ago. But what I will tell you is, you know, where we're from, where Marjorie represents, the way that we communicate is what we call flesh or heart culture, which means I can be more witty and cunning in my words and tear you down with compliments rather than needing to simply insult you. If she would like to get a refresher on that, well, you know, maybe we could do a lunch in there and invite a bunch of community leaders. But I would rather her take out the squad, pointing out how absolutely anti-American they are than what they wear on their eyelids or what words they use in slang. And that's all.
And he missed. Amen. All right, so her tweet goes on to say, but I stand up to bullies. I guess she means Fetterman, instead of becoming one. And to the women of Pennsylvania, I stand up for you too. Enjoy your Friday. I mean, this is on.
She literally said, girl, yes, she said, girl, baby girl, I don't even play. Like, look in the mirror, AOC.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you, one snap away from a throwdown. All right, well, good luck with that, Senator Fetterman. The notorious AOC. Oh, my God. Michael Cohen, speaking of notorious, will get back on the stand on Monday to finish cross-examination. So they have a long weekend. And so far, his testimony has been disastrous. Fuck, you're getting nailed big time. Even the liberal media agree.
I hear it all the time.
Wow.
I mean, they'd love to buy gold, but because it's gold, they think it must be complicated. It isn't. Not with Roslyn Capital. With Roslyn, the entire process from start to finish is built on one concept. One. Keep it simple. Roslyn Capital, a trusted leader in helping people acquire precious metals. Gold bullion, Lady Liberty gold and silver proofs, and our premium coins can help you preserve your wealth. Call Roslyn Capital at 800-630-8900 to receive your free Roslyn Guide to Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and silver brochures. With Roslyn, no hassles, no gimmicks, and our shipping is fast and reliable. Remember, keep it simple. Make gold your new standard. Call Rosalind Capital today at 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. That's 800-630-8900.
You need replacement windows, but you're just not sure if they're in the budget this year, right? I'm Brian Derry here with Ted Coons from Renewal by Anderson, and he's here to talk about how to make window replacement more affordable.
Well, first, Brian, you don't have to do them all. You could just replace your worst windows first. Or another way to make them affordable is to change the style of window. For example, you could do a sliding window instead of a casement. We have a lot of ways to make window projects really affordable.
Compared to other window companies, you have a completely different business.
Yeah, with other companies, there's just too many people involved in the process. There's the manufacturer, the seller, and then the installer, and then the customer. And if you call with a problem, that's when they say, oh, well, we're the manufacturer. You have to call the installer for that problem, or vice versa. We're a full-service replacement window division of Anderson. With us, there's no passing the buck. At Renewal by Anderson, we sell, build, install, and warrant our windows and patio doors. So if there's ever an issue, we take full responsibility for it.
Why don't you sell by the window?
It doesn't matter if it's a $200 window or a $1,200 window. A lot of our windows just don't last. For energy efficiency and beauty, there's a much better option. Our windows Fibrex composite material is available in 9 designer colors, and it's much more durable than vinyl. Fibrex is low maintenance like vinyl, but stronger than vinyl. And it's beautiful like wood, but doesn't require the upkeep of wood.
Before May 31st, buy one window, patio door, or entry door, and get the next one 40% off. That's 40% off with a minimum purchase of 4. Plus, save an extra $200 on your entire purchase. With no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer ends May 31st. For a free appointment with Renewal by Anderson, call 1-800-704-4200.
I'm Sean Larkin. Join me as police officers remember, hit the road in memory of the departed, and honor those who gave their lives holding the things alive. Officer Down, honoring the fallen with Styx Larkin, streaming now only on Fox Nation. If you're an active duty first responder, military, or military veteran, sign up now and get your first year free.
If you've ever grilled, you know you can count on propane to make everything great. But did you know propane also powers school buses that produce lower emissions that lead to higher test scores? Or that propane can cut your energy costs at home? It powers big jobs and small ones too. From hospitals to hospitality, people rely on propane, an energy source that's affordable, plentiful, and environmentally friendly for everyone. Get the facts at propane.com/now.
Michael Cohen will get back on the stand to finish cross-examination on Monday. So far, his testimony has been disastrous for the prosecution. He's their star witness, remember that. Trump's attorney chipped away at Cohen's credibility during a blistering cross-examination. He accused Cohen of lying about a key phone call that links Trump to the Stormy Daniels payment. The defense's argument was so compelling, watch this, even the liberal media thinks the prosecution is in trouble.
There is all this testimony, there is all this evidence from Michael Cohen's phones seized by the FBI, and some of it is being used right now to show that Michael Cohen is currently not telling the truth.
I don't think I've ever seen a star cooperating witness get his knees chopped out quite as clearly and dramatically as what just happened with Michael Cohen.
Once he connected up to the Keishiller text, I thought, we're in for something here. And indeed we were. It sort of cast lots of his testimony in doubt, given the passage of time, and makes the district attorney's office look terrible, all in one breath. This is the moment of real triumph for Todd Blanche.
It was an extraordinary cross-examination by Todd Blanche, and, Michael Cohen's throughout the day, Michael Cohen, when he found himself in a corner, he does have a pattern of suddenly not understanding the question.
They are positively crestfallen. Well, okay, I think in an effort to get Trump, Alvin Bragg might end up getting himself. The only person that has demonstrated that they've committed campaign finance violations is Michael Cohen, who pleaded guilty to 8 counts in 2018. And the entire basis of this case rests on a liar who lied, even during the cross-examination as well. And Alvin Bragg, of course,
went for a felony because a misdemeanor had reached its statute of limitations, and let's say he even did engage in some sort of campaign or had done this with the intent to influence the election. You have people like the former chairman of the FAC, Bradley Smith, that said basically any candidate could be guilty of that in what is deemed to influence the election. So this case has more holes than Swiss cheese. I would.
It does, and that's an important point you made. And Joey, we have that. Let's pull this up. So this is Bradley A. Smith, who will likely be testifying Monday on behalf of the defense. Here's what he wrote in National Review, underscoring the point of Lisa. The candidate who thinks I need to brush my teeth, shower, put on a nice suit today in order to campaign effectively is surely not required to report as a campaign expenditure as purchases of toothpaste, soap, and clothing. When he eats his Wheaties, breakfast of champions, and surely one cannot campaign on an empty stomach. His cereal and milk are not campaign expenses. When he drives to his office to start making phone calls to supporters, his gas is not a
Okay.
This is a former FEC commissioner who testify Monday. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's odd to me that the judge.
This is the mission here. We're definitely saving it.
To limit the scope at which, if Stormy Daniels can sit there and give her count of what she says happened, how is this not relevant? Because from my understanding, Trump paying Cohen was not illegal, and Cohen paying Stormy was not illegal. As a matter of fact, the only thing they're saying is illegal was the intent behind it, which is a he said right now. And so if you can have an expert come in about campaign finance to say, regardless of intent, it's not against our rules, I think that pertains directly to the case with the defense's argument, which is simply no matter which narrative you believe, neither are illegal. So I don't understand why the judge is about letting this person, I mean, maybe because the applicant is so concerned about letting this expert witness come in and testify about how the FEC has handled this for eons.
So true. And Harrison Faulkner Focus, you pulled up the key moment during cross-examination, and this is when Blanche was asking him about the phone call. He says he spoke to Trump on the phone call about the Stormy Daniels payment. Oh, wait, there was a text that said he was actually talking about a 14-year-old. Michael Cohen says he talked about both. Regardless, Blanche said, we are not
I see.
This jury does not want to hear what we think happened.
Yeah, they really don't want to hear it from Michael Cohen, because what he believes is like a continuation line that changes moment by moment. You said it's a he said, no, he said he lied. One guy lies as he breathes. So what we saw in cross-examination, though, I thought was, appropriate in terms of putting pressure on that reputation of Michael Cohen and showing that he's a convicted liar and all of that. They need to do more of that. They need to press in more. And as attorneys have told me, experts who were both defense and prosecutorial, they've said, don't do anything else with this. Like this is not time to try to defend or do anything at this point. It's time to really close in on their star witness even more than you already have. And so I'm looking forward to Monday to see, well, what are they going to do with the fish on the end of the line now? Because he's a shark. And you don't fight a shark with witnesses who may or may not, say what you need them to say or what you thought they would. They've got this. Now they got to lean in hard and just close it. They need Emily.
And the jury instruction won't tell you.
Yeah, we'll use our supports for the long range.
Disregard their testimony.
Yes, exactly. So if you find that someone intentionally falsified a material fact or testimony about a material fact, you can disregard the entire testimony. And then that instruction goes on to say that if you feel, or it sort of asks, do you feel there was bias in this case? Well, Stormy Daniels' testimony goes out the window because she said clearly she wants him to go to jail. And then Cohen, yes, and she hates him. And then Cohen is just the mess. And I feel like that last scene in Clue when it's like 1 + 2 + 2 + 1. They're carrying out the bullets. But to add to your point about the he said, and the he said, he lied, the other thing.
Boy, do you look like a fucking idiot.
That only matters.
That's crazy.
You had an intent to cover up a crime, and the whole point is there's no crime, right? So at every layer, this house of cards crumbles. And when you dig into the inveterate liar that is Cohen and the ease with which you can explode his entire testimony, then hopefully the jurors will respond to the instructions accordingly, which is this person is so biased, this person is so untruthful that yes, I will disregard not just that sentence, but the entire testimony, and they should for Stormy Daniels as well.
More holes in Swiss cheese.
Yes, indeed. We'll resume Monday, so tune in for all the latest. We'll bring it to you. It is Friday. All right, Republicans are accusing President Biden of being afraid to release the audio of an interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur. I wonder why.
Was that your grandfather?
Leading armies to battle.
Was that your great aunt? Keeping armies alive.
Drafting the plans. Taking the pictures. Was it your family members who flew,
Who fixed?
who fought, who rose to the occasion when the world needed them most?
Discover, preserve, and share the stories of your family's heroes. Explore all U.S. military records on Ancestry for free today.
Dan made progress with his mental health.
Oh, I forgot to save. I gotta save it.
Intentional movements of his face, hands, and feet called tardive dyskinesia, or TD. So his doctor prescribed Austedo XR, a once-daily TD treatment for adults. Austedo XR significantly reduced Dan's TD movements. Some people saw a response as early as 2 weeks. With Austedo XR, Dan can stay on his mental health meds. Cool air.
Austedo XR can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, or have suicidal thoughts. Don't take if you have liver problems, are taking reserpine, tetrabenazine, or valbenazine. Austedo XR may cause irregular or fast heartbeat or abnormal movements. Seek help for fever, stiff muscles, problems thinking, or sweating. Common side effects include inflammation of the nose and throat, insomnia, and sleepiness.
Ask your doctor for Austedo XR.
My daughter is Mila. She is 19 months old. She is a little ray of sunshine. One of the happiest babies you'll probably ever meet. Children with Down syndrome typically have a higher risk for developing acute myeloid leukemia or just leukemia in general. Here we are.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works day after day to find cures and save the lives of children with cancer and other life-threatening diseases.
She was referred to St. Jude at 11 months. They knew what to do as soon as they got her diagnosis. They already had her treatment plan drawn out, and they were like, this is what we're going to do, this is how long it's going to take, this is how long in between. This place is like family to us now. Like, I can't say enough how grateful we are to be here. Medical bills are always a big thing to everybody because everybody knows that anything medical is going to be expensive. We have received no bills since being at St. Jude. We have paid for nothing.
Thanks to generous donors like you, families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, so they can focus on helping their child live. For just $19 a month, you'll help us continue the life-saving research and treatment that these kids need now and in the future. Join with your credit or debit card right now, and we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt that you can proudly wear to show your support.
Anybody and everybody that contributes anything to this place, no matter if it's a big business or just the grandmother that donates, once a month, they are changing people's lives. And that's a big deal.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Because there are people out there who aren't you. A lot of them. And you don't drive like, whoa.
I don't like cars being raised by a robot.
Other drivers are not you.
Yes, thank you so much, all 50 of my subscribers.
Nope, definitely not you. Save with DriveWise and get a rate based on you. You're in good hands with Allstate.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I've been president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? I guess I just forgot.
Well, that was President Biden, as he swears his memory is just fine, but a lot of Americans disagree with that. He's now claiming executive privilege over the recording of his interview with former special counsel Robert Hur. That means lawmakers and voters won't get to hear why Hur described him as an elderly man with a poor memory. White House counsel sending this message to House Republicans, quote, the absence of a legitimate need for the audio recordings lays bare your likely goal to chop them up, distort them, and use them for partisan political purposes. But the White House claims Biden's decision wasn't politically motivated.
President Biden decided to block the release of the audio of his interview with his White House counsel, and obviously the letter from the White House counsel laid out the reasons about the concerns of being used for political purposes. But that seems to imply that the White House is concerned that these could be politically damaging. So why not just release them, especially with this White House's commitment to transparency?
Well, one, the transcripts, as you all know, is already out there. I think the second piece of this, too, to note is that the Attorney General made it clear that law enforcement files like these need to be protected. And so the president made his determination at the request of the Attorney General. So just want to make that second point that I made really clear.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Harris, they say there's no political motivation, but I remember when her transcript was released in the report, there was a political headline, White House frustration with Garland grows. The White House was very upset, according to Politico, that Garland had not pushed back, had not demanded edits to the report. And they went so far as to say, well, Biden himself has not weighed in on Garland's future. Most of the president's senior advisors do not believe the AG would remain in his post for a possible second term. So their motive was to screen out all the bad stuff. It seems to me that would be political in nature.
Yeah, and at the time, contemporaneously, I scratched my head at that. I mean, this was a win for them. They couldn't even tout that it was a win. I mean, he could have been indicted. I mean, he kept, as a senator, out of a skip, not to. He could have been indicted. Yeah. So they're lucky that his memory was so bad. What they're really angry with is that his memory is so bad. So I don't know if they can, regain that memory for things coming up, like debates, whatever. But it's problematic for them, and that's 100% political. Because otherwise, the guy would get, some medical help, like other people do, and he'd sit down and go take care of himself. But he's under the pressure of running again, probably by his own delusion. And there they sit. So they've got to try to keep this tape out, because he's probably not going to sound good. If the words sound bad, imagine how the words sound coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. Exactly, Joey. I think we have to put our mind back to when the Robert Hur report came out. There was a ferocious response, not just from Republicans, but Democrats. Here's this NBC headline. It was moments after the Hur report. A nightmare. Special counsel's assessment of Biden's mental fitness triggers Democratic panic. There were articles written. There were vulnerable House Democrats who all of a sudden started commenting on his age and acuity. They know if the audio's out, you get around to it.
Yeah, I think this shouldn't be, but I think it's a varied issue for voters. And it shouldn't be, but I think it is, because we live in a world of excuses. Politicians don't admit mistakes, and they have an excuse for everything. If you are supporting Biden and you read this, you say, well, the special counsel must have been politically motivated. If you think that Biden is a crook or any version of that, you look at this and say, well, they're obviously hiding this because it shows that he has those problems. I think asserting executive privilege, I'm not putting it out, I think that's conventional wisdom, but it is politically motivated.
And the other thing is, remember that to this day, Biden maintains that it was mischaracterized. So if it was mischaracterized, wouldn't you want the tapes to be released? And Politico pointed that out. They said this is awkward politically for him, because maybe for the small percentage of people that are undecided on this, he's being hypocritical and he's playing both sides. If you want us to know that it was mischaracterized, then let it be released so we can decide for ourselves whether or not. But to Harris's point, I think we're most afraid of the reality, which is that he is an elderly man with a poor memory.
Well, yeah, and Joe Biden says his memory is fine, but spoiler alert, it's not. The damage is already done politically to Joe Biden from this, right? Because it takes the poison out of the documents case against Donald Trump that Joe Biden has mishandled documents since his time in the Senate going back to the 1970s. Also,
which is a crime.
Especially when you're in the Senate. It's really bad. A president has more authority. And then secondly, it already plays into this broader notion of Americans and their belief that Joe Biden is not mentally equipped to be president of the United States. So I think for those two reasons, the political...
Well, that was a bad move.
The audio would be worse, but I already think that this is politically damaging for Joe Biden.
Yeah, we may not hear the audio.
Memory's not okay.
Yeah, totally. We may not hear the audio, but we will certainly hear that 90-minute debate probably between Trump and Biden. So you can't hide that, Joe. All right, Kamala Harris may already be lining up her next new gig. You will not believe what it is. What's that?
You know, if you were cash back and you could earn on everything with just one card, Chase Freedom Unlimited. So if you're off the racket or crab cracking, you're cash backing. Cash back on flapjacks, baby backs, or tacos at the taco shack. Switch to a king suite. Silent retreat. Hold up. Yeah, I can't talk right now. I'm selling cash back on everything you buy with Chase Freedom Unlimited with no annual fee. How do you cash back? Check. Make more of a joy.
Meet Norman. He's part Jack Russell and part tornado. Meet the Bissell Crosswave Hydro Steam. It's part vacuum, mop, steamer, and tornado chaser. Bissell, a new breed of clean.
Ooh. Man, I don't know we're gonna have some breakfast. And it's so close to the stadium. I managed to get the last room for $190.
I booked the last one a week ago.
I booked yesterday. One night, $140.
What?
Some sites panic you into booking their last room. They don't have all the availability. Instead, use Trivago. Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites, so you can save up to $50 a night.
Well, at least I got the last ticket to the game.
So did I. Hotel Trivago.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better. Even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change your stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
All right, the 2024 campaign is heating up, but Joe Biden is slowing down. We'll discuss his Great Disappearing Act tonight.
Strike one. Our sensor readings are picking up a whole lot of activity from inside the hold of that ship. I think you're about to have a lot of company headed your way. Nothing you've got on hand is going to be enough for this one.
Reading story program. With our dogs, I read stories to them.
Point your location and take the whole thing out.
Rations with our therapy dogs. It's a very big difference with day-to-day mental health. Thank you for your support of these ways. It allows our therapy dog program to continue to keep it moving.
It's important that we're local.
What the fuck, man? I can't get anybody in here. Okay, well, I'm gonna fucking kill. I'm gonna get you now.
Kind of as a joke, but every time I walk in face aquarium, I post to aquarium and they just let me through.
I really feel good about, helping other people. And that's how I was brought up. Clubs, leagues, and courses in territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. Coast to coast to coast. Learn to play, and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Why isn't the Biden administration talking more about two Jordanian illegal immigrants who tried to get into Quantico Marine Base? What were they up to? Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo joins us on that. I mean, from inside the Trump courtroom at North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, he's also helping shape Trump energy policy. Where is that heading? Burgum will be here. Dow 40,000, what's in store for the future? Our economy panel takes that up. And how big money never Trump donors have now become never Biden. The Free Press's Eli Lake is here. I'm John Roberts. Come join Sandra and me at the top of the hour for America Reports. We'll see you then. It's Friday.
It is Friday. Oh, yes. Okay, Vice President Kamala Harris might already have a backup plan if President Biden loses to Trump. Now, this is the girlfriend standing behind you giving a wink to your boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Politico is reporting Vice President Kamala Harris has joked to friends that she may return to California to run for governor if Democrats lose the White House this fall, taking a page from Richard Nixon. However, VP's team says otherwise. Here's a quote from them. This November, the vice president will be preparing to be inaugurated for the second term of the Biden-Harris administration. Yeah, I actually think they talked that way.
I don't think she could win. You go back to the presidential
Governor of
primary.
California?
Yeah, I don't think she could win. She spent $40 million to drop out before December, or to drop out in December, was polling at 3%. You look at how unpopular she is as a vice president. There's going to be such a crowded primary field. I don't even think she could win.
Well, you're so familiar having lived in the state, Emily, when she was actually in charge of the law. What's she like?
Well, what this does to me is it underscores and illustrates how all of this is just a strategy put together by the Democrat Party that has nothing to do with people's actual functions or abilities, because she failed her way up, including failing the bar multiple times before she passed it. I certainly don't want her as my governor, like I didn't want Gavin Newsom as my governor, like I didn't want her as the AG. But the whole point is their donors are the same. The families in charge are the same. So they're going to say, okay, so we're going to move Gavin here, and then we're going to shuffle Kamala here if that doesn't work, right? But the whole point is they're wresting power away from the people who say, I am so sick of these ineffective humans that are occupying spaces, making executive decisions and legislating our lives into the ground. But apparently my vote doesn't matter. So I wish her backup plan would be out of public office, because I think we'd all fare better.
So now that I've heard that, it makes my next question seem silly. But, you know, a lot of vice presidents might think, well, I'm going to help this guy get elected, so if he sits down, I'm next. Like, isn't that, I would think that would be her backup plan.
I mean, I'm sure that's her primary plan, but she has to have a backup plan because it doesn't look like he can win. That's the reality of it. I don't know if she'll go back and be governor of California. If you look back, she had two prerequisites outside of her identity that made her a VP choice. One is she had all kinds of money behind her. I know that for a fact, especially out of California. And two, when she was in the Senate, her public perception was this bulldog character on the dais, grilling, I believe it was the judiciary, grilling Kavanaugh on those. And like she was winning political points in an aggressive way. Since she's been vice president, about her choice or Biden's, that hasn't been her personality. I think that was a good compliment for Biden's Uncle Joe character coming into this administration. It didn't play out that way, and I don't know what executive experience and wins she can lean back on and say, let me be governor.
I mean, are we putting too much on her because she's the vice president? No, because he gave her 9 jobs, including the border.
No, because Mike Pence was the vice president, and he led the coronavirus task force. Okay, so you can step up if you want to. Other vice presidents have. But look, she says it's a joke, apparently. According to Politico, it's a joke. I guess her team denies it. We can only hope it's a joke. She was a border czar. She's now become the weed czar. So maybe she's running to pardon all of the innocent men and women who had small possessions of weed that she locked up that Emily always refers to. Normally, if you fail at a job, you ride into the sunset and go get a private sector gig. I don't know why she's delusional enough to think she should stay in government or run the state further into the ground. But you know, the happiest people to hear this, DeSantis, Greg Abbott. You thought there was a mass exodus out of California now? Put Kamala in charge. They'll go fleeing. You'll have like one person left in the tax base that had to be Kamala.
Yeah, it'll be the most bucolic state in the union, right?
I'm glad you didn't say Kim, because we don't really want Georgia.
All right, we'll be right back.
Stay on the phone.
There's an old saying in the Navy that the toughest job in the Navy is the Navy wife. And if you've made the deployments and you've been the wife at home or you've been the spouse at home, you understand what I'm talking about. Your spouse has earned the right to apply for a VA home loan. The New Day 100 loan allows you to borrow up to 100% of your home's value. So if you're in a situation where you need some help financially, give us a call.
Call 1-888-928-2085.
The people you know, the voices you trust. All new Fox Nation exclusives available now.
My dad spent 2 combat pilot tours in the Vietnam War. I come back to retrace his most important steps.
I went to Vietnam to learn more about it.
That was a big deal.
And what it meant to serve this great country.
Dad,
you were always with me.
Vietnam, footsteps of my father with Harris Fulmer. Fox Nation would like to thank active military and veterans this Memorial Day. Excited to get your first year free.
Your best days of the year start here at Kubota Orange Days. It's the year's biggest selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. Plus the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. Orange goes all day. Sales ending soon. Visit your local dealer today. Find your nearest dealer at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
I'm Jonathan Lawson, here to tell you about life insurance through the
Nice
Global
shot.
Dental Program.
If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 Ps.
What are the 3 Ps?
The 3 Ps of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54. What's my price?
You can get coverage for $9.95 a month.
I'm 65 and take medications. What's my price?
Also $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan available through the Colonial Penn Program. Options start at $9.95 a month. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up for any reason. So call now for free information, and you'll also get this free beneficiary plan. And it's yours free, just for calling. So call now for free information.
Call 1-800-700-2020 for your free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-700-2020. Don't wait. 1-800-700-2020. Call now.
Hi, I'm David, and I lost 92 pounds on Zoloft. I noticed within a week that the release supplement really knocked out my sugar craving. I didn't feel the need to go to the store for candy or go through the drive-thru afterward. I feel so much better these days, and I have Dolo to thank for that.
I've never once had to wait for insurance to approve a test or approve a medication. We didn't have to worry about any of those things thanks to the donations. And our family is forever grateful because it's completely changed our lives.
You know there's no T in Skechers? What you talking about, man? All T's always in Skechers. T&D Skechers slip-ins. T&D Skechers slip-ins. T&D Skechers slip-ins. T was always in Skechers.
This is keratin debris, where nail fungus grows. Nonix Nail Gel cleans out fungus by removing keratin debris. Using Nonix, 90% of nails improve. Get clinically proven results. So effective, it's money-back guaranteed.
The people you know, the voices you trust. All new Fox Nation exclusives available now.
My dad spent 2 combat pilot tours in the Vietnam War. So I come back to retrace his most important steps. I went to Vietnam to learn more about that. That was a big deal. And what it meant to serve this great country. Dad, you were always with me.
Vietnam, Footsteps of My Father with Harris Faulkner. Fox Nation would like to thank active military and veterans this Memorial Day. Sign up and get your first year free.
Last but not least, it is National Police Week, and we are honoring the men and women who put their lives in harm's way every day for every single one of us. This special week follows Peace Officers Memorial Day on May 15th every year, with tens of thousands attending the event in our nation's capital. But whether you make it to DC or not, we can all show our appreciation. They are our peacekeepers, and we owe them and their families a world of gratitude. We must never let them walk alone. This week and every week, thank you to all police and law enforcement with our whole hearts of gratitude.
Absolutely. I just want to say real quick, we get to report on police officers that are killed in line of duty here in New York and in big cities. That's something that happens in small towns too. And the fact that we have people willing to do that job is just really a testament to how great this country is.
And in the wake, especially of North Carolina losing 4 of their finest as well, it's a heartbreaking time to acknowledge the sacrifices these men and women sometimes are called to make.
Well, and in communities, the smaller communities, particularly what Joey is saying, it changes the texture of protection in those small towns because they all know each other. And so they know their protectors.
Yeah, they are our protectors, and we thank them every day. Yeah. We thank you for watching and Now Here's America Reports.
I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated, all at exactly the same time. I see blinking lights everywhere I turn. We've seen the threat from foreign terrorists rise to a whole nother level.
The Deputy Director of ICE is telling us that 2 Jordanian nationals are in removal proceedings now after closing his Amazon delivery drivers to crash the gates at Quantico. Does the White House think this might have been a failed terrorist attack?
Given that it is an active law enforcement matter, so I would have to refer you to ICE. I am aware of those reports. I just don't have more information for you.
This incident happened
almost 2 weeks ago. That we
Okay, let's get running.
does that mean the secretary hasn't been briefed?
I can assure you, Lucas, that we get
Let's just start running.
all of our bases all around the world and are aware of incidents. So now we await a White House press briefing for any update on that attempted security breach of one of America's most sensitive military bases. There have been very few answers on this developing situation. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. John, great to be with you on this Friday.
Good to be with you as well, yes. People have been weirdly quiet about this. I'm John Roberts in Washington, and This Is America reports 2 Jordanian nationals are in ICE custody after allegedly attempting to force their way into the Quantico Marine Corps base in a box truck. Fox News has learned that they were in the country illegally.
A similar situation happened just 2 months ago when a Chinese national busted into a top combat training base in California before getting nabbed by law enforcement. And according to Border Patrol, that suspect was also here illegally.
Fox team covers now with former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on the alarming pattern. But first, our national correspondent Griff Jenkins, who's here with us. Why is the White House and the Pentagon so quiet about this?
It's such a good question, John, and it's important. This happened 2 weeks ago, and as Sandra pointed out, it's not only a sensitive military base. Quantico is one of the most sensitive bases. It's home to TDS, a training school for officers, the FBI Academy, NCIS, and various intel agencies. Here's what we know, John. The 2 Jordanian nationals, as you mentioned, illegally in the U.S., we confirmed that, attempted to breach the base in this box truck, and the driver ignored directions to stop. So much so, vehicle denial barriers had to be used. The 2 were detained, turned over to ICE. No weapons were found in the truck. Quantico says they told officers they were working for an Amazon subcontractor, but Amazon won't confirm that with us. Here's what the FBI director told me yesterday.
Currently, they're in custody, and they're in removal proceedings.
Some reporting was that one of them had hit the TSDS, the terror screening database. Can you shed any light on that?
Yeah, I can't confirm anything like that right now.
Speaking of that list, CBP doesn't want the public to know what countries people were from the terror organization were from. Now, they denied a FOIA request from our colleague Bill Mallusion, saying this, quote, "The privacy interests of the individuals in those records you have requested outweigh any minimal public interest in disclosure of that information." It comes as the number of new gotaways we've learned has exploded under the Biden administration, 1.6 million in the past 3 years, compared to the 1.4 million total the entire decade between 2010 and 2020. Sources tell me there have been more than 175,000 known gotaways this fiscal year. And John, as you might remember, the Border Patrol Chief Jason Owen says that's what keeps them up at night.
So I'm harkening back to post 9/11 days, and if something like this hadn't happened, it would have been everywhere, and every agency involved would have been talking at length about it. What changed between then and now? They won't even release the names of them.
You put your finger on something really important, and we don't even know the names. They won't share that. And one of my sources that worked in DHS and CBP says that toward the end of the Obama administration, they put policy changes in place that greatly restricts the information of those like these Jordanians in custody. We're going to dig a little deeper and see what else we can find out.
Yeah, one of the first questions would be why. All right, Rick, thank you. Great report. Sam?
John, let's bring in former Secretary of State and Fox News contributor Mike Pompeo. For many people who are just now learning of this story, it sounds terrifying. How is it possible 2 foreign nationals reach a military base, a Marine base, and we have so few information about this, Mr. Secretary?
Well, Sandra, it is remarkable, as you all just went through with Griff, more questions than there are answers, and awfully delayed in providing even notice to the American people about what took place here. So something I think we still need to get answers because it matters. Think about this. This is now a pattern. You laid out a couple. There have been multiple instances precisely of this. Second, you saw the data on the borders. We've all seen it on Fox News. We've seen these people coming across. We have no idea where these 4 nationals are headed. And 2 of them headed to Quantico and attempted to breach the barriers in Quantico. And if you ask why FBI director is talking about flashing red lights, and he is letting the American people know there's real risk, it's precisely effects like the one that happened now 2 weeks ago.
Barely made that one.
Mr. Secretary, let me just read from the official statement that was put out by Marine Base Quantico about this incident so folks at home have a full understanding of what happened.
It says, due
What
to
a hard
the
mission.
vehicle having no affiliation to the Marine Corps base Quantico and no approved credentials to access the installation, the military police officers directed the vehicle to a holding area while they conducted standard access control vetting procedures. It was at that time one of the military police officers noticed the driver ignoring the direct instructions of the officers, continued to move the vehicle past the holding area and attempted to access Marine Corps base Quantico. Due to the swift response and execution of their duties, the officers were able to deploy the vehicle denial barriers, prevent any further access to Marine Corps base Quantico, and detain the individuals. That certainly sounds suspicious, particularly as viewed through the lens of what the FBI director has said.
No, I think that's right, John. Look, maybe they got the procedures right at the gate, but that's a dangerous time to catch someone who's trying to conduct malign activity against a very important facility, which Quantico certainly qualifies as. I must say, I'm so worried. I've talked about this for a year and a half now. The risk from these people who are crossing who are on our team, who we know are bad actors, but but those folks not only didn't have any they had no connection to the United States of America. I'd love to know who they were communicating with. I'd love to know if they're part of a larger network. None of those questions have been answered. Somehow two folks were just out on a drive and decided to pull up to Quantico. Proved not to be the case, and we need to know the full scale of what the effort was to breach this important military facility. You're exactly right, John. Something doesn't sound right about this, and the Biden administration has just chosen to hide it, delay the information, and obfuscate for who knows what reason.
Well, that builds the anticipation of this White House press briefing, Mr. Secretary, which will begin top of the hour. We'll be listening for anything further from the White House on this. They have been quiet. If they're hiding something, you're suggesting maybe they're hiding something. We don't know. We'll see how they answer the questions here in the briefing room. The known gotaways continue as well. These are the numbers right now. Hundreds of lives. They were previously 7,000 a couple years ago. 2022, they were at 660,000. 2023, 670,000. Under this presidency, we're hearing
So, Mr. Secretary, the two are in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. Here's what ICE said in a statement to Fox News. Deportation officers from ERO Washington, D.C.'s Criminal Apprehension Program responded and arrested both individuals without incident. Both individuals will remain in ERO custody pending removal proceedings. Should there be a broader investigation here? Should the FBI be involved? Would the FBI be involved at this level? Should we not be like shaking down every tree that there is around these folks to find out what the heck they were up to?
Oh, of course, John. I assume the FBI is involved. It was a federal facility. I assume the FBI is very much involved in this. And you're right, removal proceedings are what should happen after they're convicted for the crime that they committed. And the crime they committed trying to breach an American military facility. And we should be chasing every lead. We should be looking where they came from, who the other network is, where were they staying, where were they living, who was underwriting the fuel for the vehicle that they were driving. There's 1,000 leads that ought to be pursued to ensure that we actually understand the scope of what took place here. Maybe it was just two random guys out for a drive, but that certainly seems like something you should have as the last answer once you've checked all the other possibilities, which create even greater risk for America.
All right, we'll be listening to that briefing to begin at the White House shortly. Secretary Pompeo, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Senator John, thank you.
All right, now to the campaign trail as President Biden tries to make inroads with black voters. New polls show his support slipping with a key demographic, one that is crucial to his reelection. The president planning a flurry of weekend activities to try to change things around, and that includes a commencement address at Morehouse College on Sunday. Peter Ducey, live from the White House. Peter, obviously they're shocked by what they've been seeing in the polls.
Yeah, John, and now
White House officials are trying really hard to shore up support with black voters, but there are real questions about whether or not it is even going to be possible for the president and the vice president to make up lost ground.
Oh, he should be worried about black voters. He absolutely should. But it's his own fault for actually instituting a radical agenda that's hurting our country. Probably too late for him.
And some of this is shown in the latest Fox News poll. It's got President Biden at 72% right now with black voters. That is a huge majority, but it's down 7 points from where he was October of 2020. This morning he laid out the massive hundreds of millions of dollars worth of investments that his administration has made to support diversity.
My Department of Education is investing $300 million, including another $20 million announced today to support diversity in our schools. My Department of Education provided an additional almost $500 million, $450 million, to ensure teachers in our school reflect the diversity in our country.
President Biden is going to spend the weekend down in the Atlanta area, and he will be on Sunday giving the commencement address at Morehouse. It sounds like White House officials are well aware protests are possible, but they are not outlining exactly what the president's plan is, particularly if the Morehouse administrators do what they are threatening to do, which is just respond to protests by calling the ceremony off. No.
All right, Peter Dixie for us. Peter, thank you. And Sandra, the Fox News poll numbers on African-American voters voted actually better for the president than some other recent polls, which showed the former president with as much as 20% support among younger blacks.
Yeah. The difference was stark there. I mean, was pointing out the black vote down 7 points for Biden, but Hispanic voters, suburban women, moderates, under 18 and 30. The president is down with all of those numbers right now. If anything is for sure, nothing is a given in politics.
The reason why Senator Marco Rubio is one of the top picks, it was said to be, for the vice presidential slot.
Definitely on the short list. All right, John. Meanwhile, the world's #1 golfer is back on the course for the PGA Championship after an early morning arrest. We'll tell you why he ended up in handcuffs.
Definitely saving this one.
President Trump hammering Michael Cohen in cross-examination. Did they successfully plant a seed?
All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you.